Well, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says she's optimistic and cautious about this new deal with the federal government regarding a pipeline to the BC coast. Among the things inside the deal, the federal government has agreed not to implement the oil and gas emissions cap and has offered exemptions from the oil tanker ban. Alberta, on their side, saying yes to carbon capture initiatives, industrial carbon pricing in the oil and electricity sectors, and lowering methane emissions, as well as committing to net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. The provincial and federal leaders say that Canada and Alberta will be working together, convincing BC and First Nations to agree to this project and finding private partners to pay for it. Now, from praise to discontent, this pipeline agreement has drawn a large reaction from across the country. Closer to home, the mood is likely to remain celebratory as the UCP members gather for their annual general meeting today in our city. CTV's Nicole Lampa is at the Expo Centre where the AGM is taking place. So, Nicole, while Danielle Smith and her camp are celebrating, what's happening with the Prime Minister and his camp?
Kent, former Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault has resigned from his current post. Carney made him the Heritage Minister after the spring election. Guilbeault is accusing Mark Carney of dismantling part of the climate action plan he worked on as Environment Minister. Carney writing, while we may have differing views at times on how exactly we make essential progress, I'm glad Stephen will continue to offer his important perspectives as an MP in our Liberal caucus. Meanwhile, BC Premier David Eby insists the pipeline deal is not happening.
No proponent, no route, no money, no First Nation support. We need to make sure that this project doesn't become an energy vampire.
Eby calls the deal a drain on federal resources, a distraction from real projects, and says it's missing critical consultation. Coastal First Nations say the pipeline could destroy their way of life. Other BC leaders and environmental groups are also weighing in.
People definitely want to see growth. We want to see economic activity. We want to see the communities flourish. The one thing about a pipe is, and this project right now that has me a bit concerned is I see BC taking all the risk and Alberta getting all the reward. So how do we line those up?
This MOU is not a grand bargain. This is a wholesale abandoning of climate action and economic vision in Canada.
Meanwhile, here in Alberta, business leaders and energy groups are celebrating, calling this a victory for our energy sector. We'll hear more from them in half an hour. Kent.
Okay, Nicole, thank you.